Welcome to the Fast Show, the first and the best modified show here at Santapod Raceway for 2019. It is also round number one of the UK front-wheel drive drag series. Before we go into qualifying round number one, let's see what happened in 2018.
Thanks for that, Luke. It was a long, hard-fought season last year, kicking off at the All-Talk Test Day here at Santapod. Phil Reeves met Ray Saunders in the final and took the win against a hard-charging Ray and the early lead in the points championship. Round two at the Fast Show with another two very rapid cars meeting in the final. Problems away from the line for the 2017 runner-up Keel Priestman, and a faultless run from Dan Frost in the far lane saw the Fix Autos back man move up to second in the points, with Phil Reeves still at number one. Round three at the Jap Show saw Keel Priestman in the far lane taking on Phil Reeves. Keel ran his amazing Civic down to the 8.5s at the recent Door Slammers event and was hungry for a win here today. An impressive 9.6 from Phil wasn't enough on the day, and Keel took the round win along with the lead in the points championship. Ultimate Street Car in August should have seen Phil Reeves facing Dan Frost in the final, but damage to Phil's Fiesta in the semi-finals meant Dan took the uncontested win. However, Phil's good run through eliminations meant he retook the points lead with just one event to go. And that event was the Jap Show finale late in the season here at Santapod. Phil Reeves did damage in his semi-final race win, which meant he couldn't come out in the final. So it was the man from Scotland, Alan Duthie, who took the final win in the Corsa. Runner-up for 2018 was Dan Frost, with the win going to the Horsham Developments backed Phil Reeves.
Okay, so we're now going into round number one of qualifying here at the UK front-wheel drive drag series. You're going to notice the absence of last year's champion Philip Reeves and his awesome Ford Fiesta. He was here last weekend doing a little pre-season testing. 9.4 straight off the trailer. He's already number one in Europe with the Fords, but unfortunately on the way back to the pits he noticed a noise. His gearbox is damaged. That's put him out for at least round number one.
There are several other drivers also not ready in time for this event, and problems also for Dougie Gemmell in the TDI North-backed Civic. A huge cut in the side of his slick means he'll have to compete on regular road tyres today, so he'll miss Q1 while the car gets re-scrutineered. On to Q1 and two cars out on track. Ray Saunders burning out in the right-hand Auto Glim lane and Alan Duthie in the left Energy Check lane. Alan finished 2018 with a win at the Jap Show finale in the Vauxhall Corsa, Ray driving the Renegade Racing Fuels-backed RMS Japworks Honda Civic. So up to the line for the first time in 2019. It's a cold day, so traction might be an issue. Two good launches, both cars evenly matched, both cars capable of nines, but these first runs of the year are checkout passes. But looking good, 10.46 for Alan and a 10.78 for Ray. First pass of the year completed, but was it all that Ray was hoping for?
It went well, but I had a feeling the gasket was on its way out, head gasket, and when we got back to the pits he's thrown a load of water out, so I've pulled out of the remaining qualifiers, refilled it, hoping really it will go through the next round and get us through where we need to, you know. It's had full last year, no issues at all, so it's done well. I suspected it before we left. I did say to people that I suspected it was gone, but I've not had the time to do the work to it, so we was kind of hoping, and the first pull proved it, that there was an issue, so.
Into Q2, and Dougie Gemmell has fitted his road tyres to the front of the Honda, and just comparing the size of them to the slicks on Alan's Corsa, it's obvious that traction will be limited. Expect wheel spin right off the line. No burnout for Dougie with these tyres. So after that first checkout pass, Alan will be looking to turn up the boost on this one. Dougie just looking to get qualifying points. And there's the difference that slicks make right from the launch. A little bit of a move from Alan's car as he shifts gear, but safely through with a slower time than in Q1 of 11:31 compared to Dougie's 13:51. Cool temperatures, but huge crowds here at the fast show at Santa Pod. So what goes into making a competitive front-wheel drive drag car?
We originally had a Nova with the C20 let in it, and then we wanted to modify it even more. So we decided to go for a Corsa because there was slightly more room under the bonnet to get everything that we wanted to get in it. So we hunted about for a good shell. This one had only 50,000 miles on when we bought the shell, and then we just built it up from there. Bought all the parts we needed, and then just came out doing run what you brung to start with, and then it started going quicker. We're getting it tuned more, spending more money on it, and just getting it up to scratch that you could compete with some of the bigger lads that were out before, and it just took off from there. But you have to get the right people to do the cage so that it's properly fitted, and then it gets tagged obviously when you come here before you can race to make sure that it's been fitted correctly and it passes muster. So yeah, it's quite a big crucial job to get done. We stripped the car out completely to a bare shell, sent it to the guy to get the cage put in it, got it back, and then just stripped out what we didn't need and then just built it up from scratch. Running the standard back axle on it, and I'm still running the standard brake drums, as you can see. But the back end's basically standard apart from the suspension's been stiffened up quite a bit. But apart from that, there's not really much to do to the back. Some people do put a different back axle on and put the back axle slightly further back to get a bit more wheel space in, but I've always found mine has been fine, so I've just left it. The strut tops and things are all standard. I run coil-over suspension on there. All this, the rose joints have all been changed from the normal tie bars to stronger, without bushes in them, just so there's not much flex in them.
Third outing of the day for Alan, and this one is much better. That course is really sounding strong. This run nets him a 968 and a huge 161 miles per hour. That's a personal best mile per hour for him, and not far off his best ever time.
That's better. These are almost 10 inches wide, these ones, so they make a big difference. If the track's nice and sticky, you get good traction with these on, and you get a good 60 foots, which helps you off the line and continues and gets you good times at the top end of the track.
Now, in terms of the motor, how much of that is actually still stock and how much has been very, very much changed?
The block in the head's probably still the standard way, just a wee bit modifying on the head and things like that, porting and polishing and things. The inlet manifolds all changed, the camshafts are different, the exhaust manifolds are all made and things like that. It's not the same as a Honda. You can't go and buy bits and pieces off the shelf for these really when you get to this kind of power level, so you've got to make them and adapt and see what works and what doesn't work. The standard engine on this would be out of a Calibra turbo, which would be on the 200 horsepower mark. Last time we were on the dyno was round about the 800, just over, but we haven't been to the dyno for a wee while. We tune it more at the track just for getting traction. I don't have nitrous in the car at all. It used to run nitrous when we had a small turbo, but we went to a bigger turbo. It's a 40 size turbo. We're looking to be replacing that once we max this one out a wee bit more. But I've had that turbo for a few years. It's been good, done me well. We're still on the standard gearbox with a diff in it. We have had a lot of problems in the past few years. We seem to have strengthened a wee bit on the gearbox there. Don't want to tempt fate, but it has been in since July last year and it seems to be holding up so far. We did try a sequential gearbox and it didn't work for me, so I had to go back to this one for the moment and see what comes later on in the year.
Okay, well, this is obviously towards the top end of competitive cars. In terms of other people coming in, people who've been doing Run What You've Run, which is obviously where you started, is it easy to actually get to a level where you can have fun in this class?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, okay, everybody spends money and everybody wants to go faster, but you've got to start somewhere. We started somewhere. We were coming in at 12, 13s and got into the 11s, into 10s, into 9s, and yeah, you just keep progressing. We like it, and it's a nice thing to do.
He's always had uprated pistons and rods from the day I first built it. Now it's gone up to a better set of rods, better set of pistons. Head's been done. It's got a CPL head on it, CPL block, and my engine builder that built the actual engine up itself. Other than that, it's still back on its standard gearbox. The dog box last year I broke it. To be honest with you, I'd rather stick with the standard box. The turbo's a Garrett Owens turbo, GTX 4202, 74mm turbo. Just literally had that rebuilt. Engine wise, obviously it's a B18C. We've gone over to the new Link ECU system now, which is a lot more advanced than the old Honda system. GPS, a lot more tech on it. Not that I know too much about it, but there's a lot more on it. It's definitely responding a lot better than it used to. So,
You've had the car quite a few years building it up, haven't you?
10 years I've had it, maybe 11 years now. Started off as a basic build, around about 550 horsepower, and over the years it slowly creeped up. Around about 900 now, so it's where I wanted it. The car's capable of better times, we just need to get it dialed in and set up a bit more now. Yeah, it's definitely got mid-9s, if not pushing towards low 9s. Just traction's our main issue at the moment. It's spinning third and fourth, so we're having issues. And obviously now with the head gasket, we're getting a misfire up the track.
So the cars pushed down for the first round of eliminations here at Santa Pod's Fast Show, with Alan Duthie, our number 1 qualifier, getting a bye run. Helmets on, hands devices coupled up, and it's time to get strapped in. But frustratingly, we have spots of rain in the air, which eventually turned into a deluge. And with time running out to get the track dry, the event unfortunately had to be called. But Alan must have been pleased with that final run.
Your last qualifier, it was actually a good run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually. We've struggled a wee bit today trying to get traction down and still pulling to the left slightly. We did the last run on the right hand lane there, and it launched well, it hooked up well, we hit every gear properly, and it was a good run, that one. 9.6, just about matched my PB, and the terminal speed was up. I did a 161 there, which is phenomenal. And we're still at the same boost level as what we have been at the end of last year. We're still waiting to get it turned up, just still waiting to get a bit more data and some clean runs.
It does put you in good stead for the season, doesn't it? You must be thinking that, yeah, the car's going well, we've got a chance.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, I wanted to come out in the first event just to make sure we can get everything correct and everything's working right. It seems to be okay, so just punch forward and just keep hoping we can do what we do.
A huge amount of potential for the 2019 front-wheel drive drag series. We'll see you soon.